It's now time for Crime in the DMV, where we bring you the latest headlines from the week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sierra Fox. We start in our nation's capital, where a judge has denied bond for the suspect accused of stealing a car with a woman inside. The victim, 55-year-old Leslie Gaines, later died. All of this after a preliminary hearing on a carjacking charge. Fox 5's David Kaplan has the very latest.
Just to be very clear off the top here, the lone charge that 22-year-old Kayla Brown faces stemming from this incident on Monday is an unarmed carjacking charge. The crux of today's hearing inside D.C. court was whether or not there was enough evidence to take that case to trial. The judge said yes. Now, the allegation here, let's walk you through it. Monday at MedStar Washington Hospital, 55-year-old Leslie Gaines' daughter wanted to get her mother some help at the emergency room. Gaines stayed in the passenger seat. The daughter goes to get the wheelchair to help. Then eventually Kayla Brown comes, takes the car, and eventually crashes it, according to police. Now, in D.C., for there to be a carjacking charge, there has to be some sort of violent element. The prosecution argued Brown took possession of the car when someone else's was inside, even though no weapon was involved. The defense argued there was no violence, and with a carjacking charge, there has to be proof that someone else was in control of the car, and argued that Leslie Gaines was not in control despite being in the passenger seat. The judge ultimately siding with the prosecution. Now, earlier this week, I spoke with Erica Gaines, Leslie's sister, as the family grapples with all of this, and they were here today, still in search of justice.
My sister was full of life. Even though she was handicapped, she still loved life. She loved being outdoors, she loved decorating, she loved cooking, she loved being with her grandkids, and most and foremost, she loved being with her family. She will be sorely missed.
The judge ordered a preliminary competency screening for Kayla Brown. There will be a hearing on that on June 20th. Now, again, only a carjacking charge at this point. The U.S. Attorney's Office saying tonight that the investigation into this case and possible other charges are ongoing, but did not really elaborate further, just saying that there was an ongoing investigation. We'll certainly keep you posted on any developments. Brown's attorney nor her family making a comment after the hearing.
In Arlington, we have an update to a home explosion that happened back in December. Investigators now say the blast was intentional and originated from the basement. The homeowner died in the explosion from thermal injuries and blunt force trauma. The explosion was all captured on body-worn cameras from police. Fox 5's Tisha Lewis has more.
Well, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know that this lot behind me is now a grassy lot. A home once sat here. Now there are cones and also signs that say do not trespass. Again, the home completely destroyed in this December explosion, and now Arlington County Police saying that this was all intentional. We spoke with residents in this neighborhood. It's a cul-de-sac neighborhood. We spoke with them. Many of them saw this explosion unfold on their surveillance cameras. Many of them attended today's news conference.
I wasn't too surprised at first when it happened. We thought maybe it was the gas, but then we learned that they turned the gas off. So, you know, it's crazy. You know, I heard that he was buying a bunch of things prior.
Arlington County Police say 56-year-old James Yu intentionally set off an explosion inside his home, destroying the property. Police say Yu died in the blast. The new details coming out today after a months-long investigation. The deadly explosion happened back in December. Since then, several agencies have been investigating the explosion and response, including the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. By several accounts from area residents, Yu's behavior stood out as frightening leading up to the explosion. Area law enforcement agencies echoed that same sentiment at a news conference today.
In speaking with neighbors, officers learned the suspect was reclusive, rarely came outside, and had thrown trash, including bleach bottles, into the yard that day. A neighbor also reported odd behaviors by the suspect, such as having a large quantity of charcoal, lighter fluid, and bleach delivered to the house months prior to this incident.
Well, at a news conference today, law enforcement, along with some residents, also sharing with us that apparently there were bleach bottles that were being discarded. Also, area residents say that they saw bleach being delivered, charcoal being delivered, and also lighter fluid being delivered the same day as the explosion. Right now, there is a police cruiser on scene at the cul-de-sac and also at the top of the street.
The manhunt for a suspect accused of killing a Maryland parole agent is done. Officials confirm he is now behind bars after being on the run for more than 24 hours. Fox 5's Lily Zhang has this report.
Emmanuel Sewell was arrested hundreds of miles away from his Chevy Chase apartment. This was after he was stopped while driving in West Virginia by U.S. Marshals.
I'm Agent Davis Martinez.
In this video posted in 2021, Agent Davis Martinez had been on the job for just over 3 years.
What has been the biggest treat of your job?
Just working with some great people.
Today, those people are mourning.
We've had many conversations about our agent, and things like professional, diligent, resilience are what we hear about Agent Martinez.
The 33-year-old probation agent was killed Friday, allegedly by this man identified as Emmanuel Sewell. Montgomery County Police Chief Marcus Jones says Agent Martinez was at Sewell's home on Terrace Drive for a resident check Friday. When Martinez did not return to work, officers responded for a welfare call and found his body. This man lives nearby.
We put great effort into finding, a safe neighborhood for our family and kids and all that kind of stuff. And in fact, to find out this kind of happened in our complex is it's wild.
Sewell, a registered sex offender, was released from prison in 2021.
The suspect has done 25 out of 29 years, and he had mandatory release, not parole. Difference, okay? And also, he has had at least one prior agent that serviced him.
He's now been charged with second-degree murder. Though authorities did not specify how Agent Martinez died, they say his injuries were consistent with blunt force trauma. Sewell's neighbors now joining law enforcement mourning Martinez.
Well, it's a dangerous job, and this is a reason why. You never know when it can happen, and then you don't come back home. It's crazy.
Sewell is currently being held in Putnam County, West Virginia. He will be extradited back here to Montgomery County.
In Prince George's County, it has been 1 month since a 20-year-old Maryland woman was discovered shot to death in her car along the Beltway, a murder mystery that police say could be a case of road rage. Fox 5's Bob Barnard has this story.
Somebody saw something, somebody knows something, and someone has heard something. So I'm asking you to be a stand-up person and come out and say what you know.
Florence James is speaking about the death of her 20-year-old great-niece, Nia Strong Hairston, a Laurel High School graduate working as a hairstylist and part-time for UPS, found shot and killed in her car the night of May 3rd.
We're just devastated. Monday was the 3rd, I believe. That was a month on Monday. And so it's still so surreal that you just can't believe something like that happened to our Nia.
It happened along this part of the inner loop of the Beltway near Landover Road. Nia was on her way home from work and visiting a friend. Police say she was shot around 10:45 p.m. that rainy Friday night. Maryland State Police now offering a $20,000 reward for information that helps solve this case.
We as the Maryland State Police Homicide Unit are urging motorists out there, not just motorists who are in the area, but we are also urging people to keep their ears open. Anybody in the community is keeping their ears open, and whether it's just Maryland or neighboring state, that somebody mentions this case or somebody mentions just a shooting in general, to keep their ears open and kind of put 2 and 2 together with this story to help maybe solve this case.
Lieutenant Kyle Clark says this is likely a random case of road rage. Miss James has a message for Nia's killer.
You hurt our family. You devastated our family. Plus, Nia didn't deserve that. Nia was just coming home from work, just in her car, driving home from work, and someone just takes her life. They murdered her. They took Nia from us.
A case the FBI is trying to help solve as well. Bob Barnard, Fox 5 Local News.
Now to a Fox 5 exclusive. A Northern Virginia mother says her 15-year-old son was fatally shot during an argument in the neighborhood. The violence erupted in Woodbridge, Virginia. Now she's turning to the public for help in finding her son's killer. Fox 5's Tisha Lewis explains.
Well, a tragic story here. In fact, the shooting took place in this Woodbridge neighborhood less than 24 hours ago. We spoke exclusively with the deceased victim's mother. Tonight, she's turning to the community for answers. She wants to know what happened and also wants to know more information about the investigation and the aftermath. She describes her son as, by all accounts, someone who is looking forward to 10th grade. She identifies him as 15-year-old Simon Lumpkin Jr. She says he was a star basketball and football player at Freedom High School in Woodbridge and was excited about starting 10th grade next year. The shooting that claimed his life took place on the 3700 block of Masthead Trail in Woodbridge last night. 3 other victims survived. We spoke with Simon's mother, who says she's received limited information from investigators and has yet to see her son's body, despite reportedly waiting hours at the hospital.
Mothers, hold your sons really tight. Young black boys, get off these streets. Stop fighting, because you don't know who has a gun. There's cowards out here. No one is fighting like men anymore. They're fighting like cowards. And we need to stop this. We need to do better as a community. And all that, oh, we keep that closed mouth. If it was your kid, would you want somebody to have a closed mouth? So whoever knows something, whoever, please speak up.
Again, Simon's mother is seeking more information on the investigation and also wants to see her son. She says she's yet to see his body. In response, Prince William County Police tell Fox 5 this is still an active investigation and it's standard policy to preserve any evidence, including a victim's body. Police say the shooting is not random. Simon Lumpkin was 15 years old. As for the other 3 gunshot victims, we're told one was 16 years old, 18 years old, and 20 years old. Lumpkin, meanwhile, is the youngest of 5 siblings.
Well, that does it for this week's Crime in the DMV. Make sure you tune in next week to stay ahead with Fox 5 right here on Fox Local as we continue to bring you the latest updates.